that's the only one that's likely to do this.
And this would go true for any other thing?
Anything.
Okay.
So, any floppy thing.
And what gauge of wire?
This is, and it doesn't have to be wire, it can be a pin, it can be whatever you happen to have available to you that will do the job.
Okay.
I just happen to have the wire, and on my positive that I did not, my ones at home I didn't, that I didn't bring, that's what I had used.
So it looks kind of 20-ish.
Probably, yeah. But it doesn't have to be wire, it can be whatever you have available. Sometimes when I make stencils that have parts that are loose, I mean really loose, that they're not attached to anything, I take a piece of thread and glue that across to hold it on there. So I have just a very tiny little bit of connection.
Then how do you cover that up later, because it's gonna show?
Thread would probably burn.
Yeah. It would be on the stencil itself, and that would be removed.
Okay.
And it makes such a tiny area that it doesn't really show that much, and then you can come back in and
Just sprinkle.
sprinkle something on there, yeah.
So are you saying you attach the tracing paper to a wire because of how thin you're gonna get the?
Yeah, let me show you. Okay. Okay, so if I'm gonna do this, I cut this thing out. Let's see, and assuming I've put tape on here, on both sides already, just because we don't have the tape here and I don't take the time.
This one you would do tape.
Definitely you do tape.
Okay. But you don't do tape on all, every.
No, I do it on weak areas, floppy areas. Some of these up in here, because they're so tiny and little, you might want to do just that.
Is that a stencil at the top up there too?
That is a continuing stencil of the,
Oh, wow.
okay. Okay, I'm not doing a real good cutting job here.
For demonstration purposes.
Yeah. These new Fiskars are just not as good as the old kind. Somebody bought Fiskars out. I think they're from Japan or something. And they're just not as good as they used to be. There's nothing better.
I can't help but use a X-Acto knife blade on a self-healing mat. It's just what I've always done, and for me, that's quicker.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what you got, and you see this floppy thing. And you cannot, you know, it's very difficult to pick that up. You know, without
Because the
getting into
enamel's gonna be
something.
on that end, it's gonna
See,
look
if you
like
pick it
that.
up with your tweezers, and it's gonna fall like that. You don't want that.
So you're putting a wire.
So I'm gonna take a wire, let me clean up my mess and we'll go on. Okay, here's the wire, there's a little bit of glue.
So you wouldn't use tape then?
You could use tape, you can use whatever you happen to have. Whatever works. Whatever works, whatever you happen to have to hand. Sometimes I have nail polish.
But you have to wait till it dries, right?
That's the problem with this part. That it takes a while. You don't want just, you want enough so that it sticks. But see, I'm doing these things because I'm gonna do these things again and again and again. I'm gonna reproduce these things. And I'm gonna produce them again over time. And it's worth my time to do it in the first
It's
place.
attached to you, you're like a puppet.
So that gives you strengthening there, so that when you come to pick it up, you can get hold of that wire and it's not gonna flop.
Oh, aren't you clever?
Oh, can I put wire
I
on
bet
there
you
around
wanna
the
put
stencil?
wire around the whole thing.
Now, when you say around the whole thing, now we have one more thing. In your packet of those things, you're gonna find a piece of cardboard.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and have your cardboard, and I'm gonna set it, we'll set the mat cutter over here. How many of you used a mat cutter before?
Years ago. Years ago.
You don't have to have the mat cutter, you can use your scissors, but I thought it would be fun to bring the mat cutter, just so that everybody's touched one.
Should we come over?
Yes, you better.
We should come over, huh?
Yeah, you might as well